Okay. Last year I worked at the Barnstable school, also in Sandwich, and one of my colleagues had a Diamondback Terrapin for the same program, the Head Start program, in her classroom. And I got to see how excited everybody in the building would get about the turtle, especially the students, how much they enjoyed it. So at the end of the school year, I asked if I could also join the program this year. And because Dr. Sadowski so generously donated the tank, they were able to give me turtles this year. One of the sweetest things about the whole program is the whole sense of community, which you wouldn't, I don't know, if you think you're raising turtles, that wouldn't be this big focus. But that's what it was to me, because first of all, when we got the turtles, we didn't name them for like at least 3 or 4 weeks, because the children and the staff members in the building were so passionate about what the turtles should be named that if everybody had suggestions and things, and everybody was checking in on them. So as you probably heard, we named one of them. The janitor really wanted it named after this Japanese cartoon character, and he's a really good artist and the kids really like him, so naturally they voted on naming one of the turtles Gamera, because he suggested it. We have huge football fans, so we have a Brady. But even from the beginning, the fact that everybody was so excited about the turtles and come in and visit them, I like the fact that people come walking in the room all the time, even parents with kids that aren't in my classroom. And it's sweet, because some of the kids assumed that Dr. Sadowski was my dentist, and I was like, no, he just donated this to the class. And of course they've learned a lot along the way too. The natural resource officer came in a couple times, Matt Goff, to talk about, the terrapins, and the PTA gave me money and I was able to buy some books that specifically talked about Diamondback terrapins and the environment here, that I was able to read with them. And of course they learned by coming in to see them every day. One of the things that I got to see is that I have some kids, it's the first thing they do when they come to school. And I have some colleagues that say that, there's some kids, that's why they come to school. They come to school for the science stuff, they come to school for the social studies stuff, they get really excited about learning that stuff. And of course when it's living and breathing in your classroom, then it makes a big difference.
How has the reaction been from the kids about the whole program?
Like I said, we had one that didn't come today because he was so sad about putting the turtles back that he just couldn't do it. They've enjoyed feeding them, they've enjoyed taking care of them, they ask lots of questions about them. They obviously have become little scientists and taking observations like that they're karate masters, because they've been on the sides of the tank the last couple of weeks. We think they were ready for a new environment. So their reactions are, I guess, typical second graders. They're excited. They're observant. They get worried, like they've been worried about one of the turtles was the biggest for the while, and he hasn't been. So for a while we were trying to count how many pellets he was eating, which is really hard, but just monitor that he was always, or she was always eating. So they've gained a lot from it, I think.